It's a pleasure to be in this draft now because we have the second semifinal at the Spring Championship Qualifier #1, and it is NaVi versus TeamLiquid, and I am excited. Not only is it Infernal Shrines, one of my favorite maps, but we also have two amazing teams going up against each other. Earlier on, we had the first semifinal with Google advancing over Fnatic, and the teams here are actually very, very fast with that draft. Oh my god! Thrall banned, Kalthas banned, Zagara banned, Tetcher. These guys are not wasting any time, are they?
Nope, they've been waiting around all day to play. Neither of them had any games to play before this, and so they are eager to get going. Finally slowed down a bit with TeamLiquid working out what their first picks are going to be.
I mean, of course, a couple of heroes that we still see a huge focus on is that Stitches still that you can go for. And, well, in this case, we could even see an early Muradin, Sonya. Those have been heroes that we've seen especially drafted in the last semifinal quite a bit at the start of the game. But there's a whole lot of things that you can start things off with. Tirana is still strong, even not as strong anymore as she was before. But she's still a solid addition to the team, especially in the combination with a Tassadar. And we have the Vikings picked. Hell yeah, I'm game. Vikings and Stitches as their first pick. Not kidding around here at all. TeamLiquid dropping the Viking hammer and Stitches right at the start on Infernal Shrines. This is amazing. This is awesome. I'm loving it.
Zero time wasted by TeamLiquid, just getting right to it. Not going to mess around with any of this Falstad Muradin nonsense that all the other teams are doing. It's like, nope, Stitches, he wins game, and we like Vikings, damn it. We're picking the Vikings. And NaVi, they don't have a huge amount of options. They have Jaina available, Muradin available, Tyrande still around. They have so many choices now.
And of course, there's Falstad. Falstad Zagara, that is actually like the killer combo against the Vikings. Because the thing is, Zagara is going to give you the vision thanks to the creep tumors. Falstad has the mobility to fly to any point on the map and snipe Eric, snipe Balog. And, you know, in theory, we could actually, I don't think it's going to happen, but like on the North American side, we've actually seen, especially the Murloc geniuses, pick a lot of Nova at the end of the game. We've seen her once or twice even picked in the European scene, even though it's a few weeks back. If you pick Nova, at any point, you're going to pick her against the Vikings, because that's gathering power stacks for free right there. But of course, it's also risk, but Tassadar is taken here. I don't really think that she's going to come into play, but she would be a hero that we have to at least think about. But NaVi, first of all, with the Falstad Zagara comp, as mentioned, and Tassadar for additional vision on the map. They will know like about anything that's going on here.
Yeah, and we do see the Muradin getting banned out by TeamLiquid. They already have the first warrior in the game, so they're trying to limit NaVi's options here. And NaVi, well, they realize that Liquid do not yet have a support. There's a good chance that NaVi could be running Tassadar as a solo support, so they might want to ban one of those out for themselves.
Yeah, Tirana is also still around, and she is banned, and for good reason. That hook into stun is very, very annoying and like super dangerous. TeamLiquid now, after Vikings, after Stitches. You can, of course, like go into a Charism here. With the Vikings around, you get a lot of heal out of him. You could go into Malfurion, very similar as well. So usually when you run Vikings, it also is influencing your choice on a healer quite significantly. Running with an Uther, for example, can be quite nice if you go into Boundless Conviction and Wave of Light, but let's face it, that Divine Shield is not going to save Eric, Balog, or Olaf. So usually you would have to draft a few other heroes first to get a lot of use out of that hero. But for now, it's a Sonya. That changes things up a little bit. And still a very melee heavy setup that we see for TeamLiquid here. They need some range damage, and that's where Reyna and a potential Vala come into play, of course.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Vala seems to be a bit prioritized on this map due to the fact she has a large amount of AoE damage, and Jaina has still been left available here, so you get a large amount of AoE and a bit of ability damage. Sonya could, in theory, fill in that auto-attack damage spot if that's the way they really want to go.
The one thing that we still have to talk about a little bit, like with all that Viking hype, we haven't really mentioned it too much. We are playing on Infernal Shrines. What does that mean? It means that, of course, you want to have AoE damage as well to take these minions. Johanna, as a frontliner, is in this situation pretty good. As announced, Charism, great healer in this setup. Charism is basing a lot of his heals off the heroes that are around him with Vikings. That is absolutely incredible for you, especially, of course, after level 16 and later on, where you are going to go into Circle of Life. But in terms of AoE, there's not as much as you would think. TeamLiquid, of course, can make the adjustment on the Stitches level 1 talent and can go for the extra slam damage. It allows them some AoE. We still have Sonya with her ability to just use that whirlwind and, of course, also spin to win. But overall, they would probably like to have a bit more AoE than after all. Jaina is even around that NaVi could pick up right now. And one of the things that NaVi still need is also yeah, they still need a frontliner. Diablo would with Apocalypse combo very well with Zagara, but that Johanna with the Eternal Retaliation build has, of course, amazing wave clear and minion clear on top of that too.
Yeah, there's not exactly a huge problem with picking both. Some combination of Leo, Johanna, and Diablo here as a double warrior lineup with just Tastar as the solo support. And there is the Leoric coming in straight away, and Leoric, even with his swing, can also actually hit the Vikings very hard if they decide to group up around him. However, the Drain, not so much. That does not have a better effect against Vikings, but there is a Stitches in the game.
Yeah, you don't really want to drain the Vikings, but we could see that Johanna too. Leo on Johanna with Night Takes Pawn, Condemn, Eternal Retaliation, Leoric with the Skeleton Swing, Ghastly Reach. That would be annoying as hell against the Vikings. That would be one of those things, alright, we're not going to enter the team fight at all. So, now the question, what do? Do you value that Apocalypse? Do you value the Condemn highly enough to take one of these two heroes? Or do you make a completely different choice here? TeamLiquid has the last pick though. And God, I'm already excited. Like, I was hyped for this entire series all day long. And now the draft starts like that. And it is just like so much better even. Diablo already taken here. Okay, no Condemn. Instead, we have Diablo. He, of course, has also a lot of AoE damage, and he has that Apocalypse that they value highly enough to combo it off with Zagaras more. And this is going to be beautiful. TeamLiquid, like, no range damage whatsoever at this point. So they could go Falstad. No, they couldn't, because Falstad is already picked. So they have... I'm hyped. They have to go for either Vala or Reyna.
Or Jaina.
Or Jaina.
If they don't want to go for auto attacks. But the fact is, on the Diablo, we talked about the Apocalypse combining with Zagara, but the thing that people seem to forget about Diablo versus the Vikings is each Apocalypse procs once on each Viking. So that's an extra 2 Apocalypse runes that you're getting on the ground for each one. And Liquid, they do pick the Reyna. They're going to rely on the ability damage from the Viking spin to win, and that Stitches Slam to clear up, and get in a bit of auto attack to try and deal with that Diablo and Leoric with those giant killers.
This is sexy as hell. I am liking this. I love what's going on here. Zagara Apocalypse, as you already said, the Vikings triggering Apocalypse explosions as well. Reyna for Hyperion, also single target damage against the frontliners. Boys, this is going to be a beautiful game, hopefully. Infernal Shrines, map number 1 between NaVi and TeamLiquid. We're going to jump in and find out which team is going to take the lead in the series here. So guys, get ready. I certainly am. Infernal Shrines, map number 1 coming up right now. Game number 1, everybody, the semi-final number 2 at the Spring Championship. It is TeamLiquid versus NaVi. Infernal Shrines is game number 1, map number 1, and to the left side, we have in this case Alex the Frog on Leoric, Crosby on Zagara, Eternal on Diablo, Mene on Falstad, and Garampakete on Tassadar. To the right side of the map, TeamLiquid starting things off with Lol on Sonya. We have Gerd Amherd on Karazim, Yuva on Stitches, Chris on Reyna, and yes, you have seen correctly, it is Shad on the Lost Vikings. Some awesome action here in this first map already. Great lineups and a 4-man move up at the top lane as TeamLiquid is riding into battle and the Vikings are securing the experience on the rest of the lanes. The game is on. With me is Tetcher, and we're going to bring you the coverage here at the semi-final for Katowice.
Vikings securing experience for the other team at the moment, with NaVi grabbing first blood on Eric as he was trying to find a bush to hide in. But he does get killed off at the beginning of the game. Yuva trying to get a revenge hook, but not able to find anyone to begin with.
And talents are already interesting as well. Well, first of all, we have a bit of a fight here up at the top lane, but we have a lot of adjustments on level 1. Olaf actually dying now as well. Falstad going deep for that kill. Mene at the bot lane doing an excellent job against him. We have explosive attacks taken here now with the increased pushing power. So trying to make sure that they can clear those waves a little bit easier. Vikings have been taken out at the bot lane though, and that loses them a bit of experience. We have on level 1 also an adjustment looking at updraft for Mene. Once again, he used that talent before on this map in particular, not going to Seasoned Marksman, but deciding to go for the extra range on his barrel roll that he can easily escape that Stitches hook. And that's not only the only adjustment, we have even more than that. Chew Your Food on level 1 has been taken by Stitches, not going into that slam talent, which we all expected here because of the map objective.
Yeah, that is a very interesting choice, I feel. And, oh, Mene, very nice avoidance of Lol's spear there. Able to stay alive through this, and Shat in full sprint is going to put himself back into a safe position. But like you said, so many different talents in this game for the moment. Shad having a little bit of trouble with his Vikings has given the enemy a little bit of an XP advantage, giving away 2 Vikings, aka half a kill worth of XP. But with the Shrine activating, we will see Liquid beginning to rotate down, and this is when the Vikings will begin to come into their own.
Exactly. Soul Feast, by the way, on Diablo as the level 1 talent. Level 4 is closing in for both of them. And now we have Gedamhead going straight in. They are trying to push Alex back, of course, and secure the first few minions for them. A lead for Na'Vi at this point as the Shrine is being attacked. We have Zagara at the top lane, by the way, still soaking experience. So right now, Alex in a bit of trouble, has to move away here. Level 4 talents for both of the teams. And on level 4, we see the Willing Vessel actually taken by Alex. An adjustment here as well. All of those teams suddenly changing their talents up, and the kill against Leoric as Alex dies and gives the first blood to a TeamLiquid.
Yeah, that Willing Vessel, not enough to keep him alive here, but it does work while he's dead too, so he'll be back even sooner. Yuva getting focused down by Maida and the Thurdle here, but he is able to tag through to the Thurdle. Not giving up on him though, they want to get him off with the help of Alex, but Yuva able to pull back. The hook does not land. And Shad just popping his head out to give a little poke on Sweet Thurdle, but it's not going to be enough for a kill. But now Na'Vi, they are actually able to pick up the first Punisher of the game.
Yeah, and Menos flying to the top lane immediately. If you look at the experience here, it's not a massive lead that we see for TeamLiquid. Yes, we have them in an experience lead thanks to the Vikings, but it's not as big as they would have hoped for, especially with Falset, of course, changing lanes within the blink of an eye thanks to his flying ability. He's using that to make sure that they are not losing out on too much EXP here, and Shad still controls Vikings on all lanes. At the top lane, on the other hand, though, a bit of an engagement against Lol, who's moving away there. Olaf is just watching all of that. Douchebag Olaf. This is definitely not a Nohana moment here. We are not family. People are being left behind. And in this case, it is Olaf himself who actually faces 2 heroes. Gerd is trying to save him, but it's too late. And a kill against the Viking.
Yeah, Viking going down here. Shad with Baylog in the mid lane, positioned to try and soak XP, while Yuva is grabbing the stuff that gets all the way to the gate. And Eric playing quite passively that little bit further back. Having a look at that 4 talent, we saw Eric the Swift, no Mercenary Lord. It's what we used to see on this map a hell of a lot, but no Bribe, no Mercenary Lord on this map at all for the Vikings.
Especially in the times of Kiev 5, it was the preferred talent to take on this map. Back then, of course, we had still a very different team setups here. Kiev 5 by now disbanded completely. Lunan, for example, playing with Virtus Pro at this point. Once more, we have Eric taken out all over the map. The Vikings are in ghastly reach on level 7. That, of course, helps to take those Vikings down during the team fights later on, too. After Chew Your Food on level 1 and Amplified Healing, we now have Last Bite taken for Stitches. Looks like a very tanky sustain build here for him, with both of these talents and the Amplified Healing. But, of course, you sacrifice a bit of damage because of it.
Yeah, he's going to be able to sustain very well, especially on the Shrine fights. Just able to eat the skeletons over and over again and keep his health up so that he can continue to do damage, and it's going to be even easier for him once he has that putrid bile at the later levels. For now, Na'Vi just focusing on dealing with any pressure that Liquid are putting on, dealing with that Khazra camp very easily and keeping their lead in XP.
Alex at the top lane, dropping the towers, letting one live for a second, but the creeps take care of it. Well played. The endless creep on Zagara. They're going to have great vision on the map, and we've already been talking about those advantages of having that vision. Once again, we saw Mane with a kill at the bot lane against Eric here. Mane really on top, trying to chase the Vikings down, and up at the top lane now with a hook. Yuva is trying to put someone on the side of Na'Vi into a trouble position, but not working out for them yet. And they are actually behind in experience. Falstad is flying in now too, so TeamLiquid, they really have to pay attention now. The Vikings are soaking the lanes, but the fight at the top lane is looking good for Na'Vi.
Yeah, Na'Vi beginning to push in. They found Yuva. They pushed him into a tougher position, but Yuva found a gap, and the hook does not land though. And now Yuva getting focused out. He's able to get a huge amount of health back thanks to that last fight though. And because of that, he's able to pull back and survive the fight. And XP, despite Liquid being a little bit behind in terms of XP and towers, the Vikings continuing to stoke XP here. We're probably going to lose Olaf though, however, in the mid lane, as Maida, going to continue his spree of Viking murderization, does go in and get the kill.
Yeah, the Viking violence right there. Mane had to move away from the top, but that also allows TeamLiquid to secure some experience to push back, but they lose that Punisher still, and it is an arcane Punisher. Level 10 abilities now, and that's where we see the Mighty Gust again, the March of the Black King, more Apocalypse, of course, against the Viking, since every single one of these small fellas is going to trigger an own explosion. Nice attempt to take down Karazhan, but he jumps away. He has by now also the 7-sided strike and is using it to save himself. The rest of the team is coming in to help him out. And Hyperion used Hook against Alex, but he doesn't care. The Vikings still soaking the lanes, but it is Navi with the leading experience.
Yeah, the Vikings can now afford to soak lanes even more aggressively due to that play again talent. Not always used for the revive and obviously preferably not used for the revive because it means your Viking is dead. Instead, used for teleport gank so that the Vikings can all teleport into the fight at the same time and get that huge spin to win damage off. Leoric killed in the top lane, pushed in a bit too aggressively, and was finally taken down by TeamLiquid, actually bringing them ahead in kills.
Yeah, ahead in kills, but still behind in experience. It's 2 against 1.5 kills now. Vikings, of course, dying all over the place during this game. In total, we have on the Vikings 1.5 kills, which makes up for 6 Viking kills in total. And at the same time, once again, we're seeing down here, Camp about to be taken. Gerd am Herd again with a 7-sided strike. They're trying to go in for it. Gerd jumps away with a quick dash, escapes for now, and they go for Alex again. The Camp, they're stealing it away. Oh, they don't! The hook and the kill against Leoric. Grand Paquette is also low. The Vikings teleporting in, and they're trying to go for another kill. The Camp has been taken by TeamLiquid, and they got a kill out of this. In the end, it works out for them, but what an interesting fight.
Yeah, that was very interesting indeed. The Vikings beginning to re-split up. They came in for the damage, but unfortunately got caught in a Tassadar storm and were not able to deal the main damage that they wanted to. So instead, going to begin splitting back up into lanes, soaking XP. And Shad needs to be careful because Maida has been very Viking aggressive here and may attempt to go for Eric.
Yeah, and to the bot lane, we see Shad also soaking with Olaf now, and Alex is already looking for him. The teams are both on level 12. Mid lane is still being pushed, and Grandpa Kete with his Storm is trying to push them back. But we have now another shrine activated on the map. Main is still up at the top, Shad dodging him. The rest of the team moving into the middle. Experience, both of them heading into level 13 now at the same pace, roughly. And the shrine is going to be activated any second right now. It's going to be another Punisher, and Alex is already starting to move in with the rest of his team to put this into a 5 versus 4 position against TeamLiquid.
LOL, however, got a big head start. Alex getting hooked in, but he's able to use that he's able to use that Wraithwalk to get out of there without too much damage. He did get a very good drain onto Yuva there, doing a lot of damage. Falstad not here in the fight yet, still soaking up in the top lane to try and give his team that level 13, which they do get first. Vikings allowing Liquid to keep up very effectively though, and there is Eric nearby, so the teleport is available. Yuva taking a lot of damage though, has having to back up.
Yuva with the indigestion on level 13, another bite and tries to hook, but hooks the minion. He was going for Alex here. We have a bit of a lag there, but of course we are back to business already as we still see the Vikings soak in the mid at the bottom lane, trying to push that in. 25 versus 17 minions. TeamLiquid, they want the Punisher, but Navi is on the point, and they go for it again. They already secured 2, and they're going for the 3rd now. We have still the Vikings trying to soak Shaq, actually with Eric way far to the left side. There's a quick ping, and we have Play again. They're trying to move in from behind. It's the Viking trap, but Apocalypse has been used, dodged by the jump on level 13, and TeamLiquid goes in.
The March of the Black King did a huge amount of damage though. The Vikings getting killed off. Raider already down, and we're seeing Liquid retreating away from this fight. Nothing else they can do here. Gerd gets engaged by a turtle and is killed off as well. That is at 3 kills, well, 2 and a bit kills for Navi here, who are going to move in and grab the fort with this Punisher and probably push even further.
Yeah, they move to the bot lane now. They are trying to drop a second fort, and they again take the lead in experience. The Vikings trying to go for that flank with Eric in the back here, thanks to the play again. Not really successful there now, but we still have 3 kills against 4. Vikings, of course, starting to, well, still soak the experience up at the top lane and trying to make up for that lead that Navi has now in EXP. It's not going to be easy, though. Definitely not going to working out the same way that they were hoping for. Of course, on level 13 now, it's also that Relentless taken once again on Karazim. As we said, Giant Killer and Indigestion. We're going to see a couple of Wretchlings here. We have for Diablo 2 of those Fire Devil talents taken. Firestorm, after Firestorm, Fire Devil here on level 4, and Crushing Hope after the level 4 adjustment with a Willing Vessel on the side of Leoric for the extra sustain in the fights. Yeah,
there's the hook on Tastar. He is dimensional shifting, but he is still getting stuck to by Yuva. With Alex here, though, they will be able to escape a nice water. But we've mentioned the Indigestion. This is a build I didn't expect to see here, seeing as the other builds in the meta seem to be a lot more popular. But this is a sieging build coming in due to the fact that you get a very low cooldown on that Wretchling, and you can basically spam it for a huge amount of Wretchlings to push a lane or even fight at a shrine very aggressively. It's a build I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, and I mean, there are not too many stuns on the side of the opponent, you know, so that Relentless is of course quite helpful, but considering the way that he is trying to get that maximum amount of sustain during the fights, you can argue that Relentless would of course be nice to have here, but it's not necessarily needed. It's not like we are seeing a Diablo Tyrande composition on the side of Na'Vi.
This is very true, Olaf. In full retreat, even with Sprint, he's about the same speed as Alex, but Alex was out of range, so was not able to chase him down. Baylog staying very far back in the mid lane. Eric only working with the team, and there you go. See, spamming a couple Wretchlings. It goes on a 5-second, his Devour goes on a 5-second cooldown when he uses it and gets the kill. So the Wretchling's able to push the lanes quite effectively.
Yeah, Wretchling at the top lane here already, 16 versus 16 in a few moments. We have the extra talents already taken. Again, a kill against Olaf down into the bot lane. So only 2 Vikings on the board right now, but the level 16 talent is now finally ready for TeamLiquid with the Executioner on Reyna for the extra damage. Charism, of course, can now get a lot of heals out thanks to the Circle of Life. Stone Skin taken on Stitches. Look at that, no fishing hook for him.
Yeah, well, he's going to be in quite close range here, it seems. Lol, pulling himself out with the Mystic Spear. The Vikings also going for large and in charge. That stun on Olaf Juve getting focused, but that Stone Skin makes him so tanky. The Mighty Gust pushes Juve out of range a bit. The board did catch Lol, who is getting focused down. He pops his own Stone Skin. That lovely nerves of steel here, keeping himself alive, and Alex getting focused down.
Play to win got interrupted. Shed can use it again. It was on a mini cooldown. Lol is there. Shed is using it. It got interrupted. And that was a big problem for them. Now the kill against Juve. In come the Vikings. They go for Crosby, but it's already too late. That Apocalypse stunned it out, and then it was on the mini cooldown, and that was a big problem for TeamLiquid with this fight. They were definitely hoping for the Vikings to assist them during the battle, and that did not happen. Once again, it is Na'Vi with a move onto the Punisher. They will get another one. This is going to be a frozen Punisher. An incredible powerful position now for Na'Vi to be in. They took so many structures down already. They are only barely ahead in experience, but they have dropped 3 keeps actually, and they are going to head straight, 3 forts, and they're going to head for keep right now.
Yeah, the only thing keeping TeamLiquid in the game at this point is the XP soak from the Vikings, which is currently at 21,000. The only hero close to that is Leoric with 11. But doesn't matter how much XP you're soaking if you're still losing all your structures. Forceful very nearly catching heroes, but not quite. The Vikings doing everything they can to soak, while Liquid defend this Punisher with as much as they can. Shad ready to teleport in again very soon.
Na'Vi just super aggressive once again, and they already dropped the first one. Olaf is about to die. The Punisher is still on half health, and they're starting to move in for the core. Na'Vi, they're trying to end it right now. They want to kill 6 kills against 3 overall. Here comes the aggression from TeamLiquid. Oh, the Apocalypse not hitting too much. Again, the play to win. Stunned out, though. A big problem here for TeamLiquid. Once again, they're starting to move in, and they push Na'Vi back for now. Alex is actually in trouble. The Maw already used. They won't be able to finish here, but that Punisher is still doing a lot of damage, as once again, the hook is hitting Tacita. Now the play to win in place, and we have the Vikings joining the fight.
Yeah, Shad pushing in with play again, but once again, really too late. Not able to get Eternal. Looks like they would at least be able to kill off Leoric. Alex pushing into the core. He can be out of here if he wants to, and also the fact that Leo couldn't pass through buildings has been changed, so he can leave through any lane he wants. So Na'Vi losing 2 members there, but taking a good 26% off the core is no non-accomplishment.
Yeah, definitely no joke here. And to the top lane, a fort has been eliminated in the meantime. So we had the Vikings at least putting the experience play in. Again, the problem are still these team fights. 7 kills against 5 right now. A lot of these kills on the side of Na'Vi are, of course, individual Vikings that have been taken out. It's all about the level 20 at this point as well. If you can reach that, then maybe you can start that comeback here. Definitely TeamLiquid in a situation where they are able to stay in the game, even though they're losing the structures, but they have at some point to start winning team fights. And that Apocalypse is starting to become a massive problem. The second time that play again was interrupted, and that is a massive, massive issue here when the Vikings can't join these team fights.
The fact is, though, Liquid do have at least one fort down. That's all you really need to make a comeback if you can get a team wipe, and they are going to hit level 20 sooner due to that Viking soak, as long as they don't unnecessarily die doing this kind of push. As long as they can stay alive in it, they should be fine. Shat is staying in the bot lane, soaking up. He can protect against those catapults a bit later. Baylog in the mid lane, soaking, and they are going to hit level 20 easily in time for the Shrine, but the Shrine spawning early enough that Na'Vi will get level 22.
Alex moves into the middle and takes the tower down. He sees an opportunity to get even more experience for his team. and he does exactly do that. Job well done here. Once again, we have the mid lane here with Gadam here, Lol, Juve, Chris, and Shat moving in. Play again not used yet, but the 20s are in play now, and that means Transgression, Ignore Pain, Hardened Shield. We have Nexus Frenzy taken, and Fury of the Storm for the Vikings. Spectral Leech on the other hand for Leoric, and we have for Diablo again a lot of terror. Olaf already dead. Storm Shield is also in play now for Navi, and the Epic Mount, the fight for the Shrine, so important. Mighty Gust use Transgression as well. We have them moving in, play again in play, and they're going straight for the kill against Zagara. Mane moves away with a might with the Epic Mount, but a double kill against Navi, and all of a sudden TeamLiquid is ahead.
The Vikings, with that huge damage they took, Fury of the Storm, the extra damage on all the Vikings auto attacks, taking down the 2 kills there, and they're going to get this Punisher. It is in the mid lane where there is still a fort available for Na'Vi to defend, but this is huge for TeamLiquid winning with their level 20s.
Yeah, they were able to use the Vikings to jump Zagara and nearly Mane too. Mane uses the Epic Mount to actually get out of the situation, but that's exactly what they need. And of course also Leoric is just in so much trouble every time that he's focused down. He's on 5 deaths already, one of the frontliners that is just always sacrificing himself for the good of the team too, since he knows that he's the one with the lowest death timer here. But now TeamLiquid moving in another 14 seconds until Zagara is back. The Punisher, 18 minutes into the game, is starting to execute some pressure. TeamLiquid during the entire game, they were slightly behind, but now they are the ones calling the shots here.
Yeah, you can see Shad leaving one Viking back so that in case they get picked off. Alex gets 7-sided strike. He goes down. It's a bad time for him to die. Storm Shield used by Tassadon to try and keep the rest of his team alive. Maida getting chased back by the Punisher, whereas the rest of TeamLiquid, they're pushing in. They're going to go for the core. The Putrid Bile is popped.
And the Apocalypse now as well. The Mighty Gust pushed all of them out of there. Mane with a mistake, but now the Vikings dying again. Juve is also about to fall, but he uses last bite as Lowell starts to go in. Balog is dead. They need to move away. Here comes the play again, and the Vikings are back to business. Alex needs to move away here, and he does just before he revives. Oh my god, the keep is down, and TeamLiquid, they are not out of it yet. It looked bad for quite some time, but they are definitely back in this game.
Yeah, TeamLiquid actually coming back into this. The Vikings, that level 20 talent of Fury of the Storm, is such a different talent to what we're all used to. Usually, if we see play again, we would see that checkpoint reached where the Vikings could get a second revive, but instead just going for that burst damage, going to try and snipe Zagara from behind, and it's working. They've been able to get it, and with this Fury of the Storm, they're clearing the wave so much quicker, so this bot lane no longer a huge threat.
Yeah, bot lane is now being cleared. Here comes the wraparound. They're trying to go not for the Vikings. They're trying to go for the core.
Oh, TeamLiquid, they have no vision of this. The Vikings saw nothing. Falstad could fly in. They've missed the minion wave. Na'Vi going for the core here. 74%. TeamLiquid being back. Raider running in to get a head start. Falstad flying in to join his team. Here comes the Hyperion for the damage.
And immediately they jump in. Hyperion is already there, but Na'Vi is going for it. Already Transgression being used. The core is dropping hit points, so Tassadon is nearly dead, and so is Crosby. The kill against Falstad. Zagara is dead. Here comes the Apocalypse. 10% on the core. Alex is dying. Grand Paquette finishes it with Eternal. The win for Na'Vi in the first game of this best of 3 series. Oh my god. Game number 2 on Sky Temple. The draft is starting. Na'Vi versus TeamLiquid. This is going to be great. Na'Vi currently in a 1-0 lead against TeamLiquid after this first amazing game that we saw on Infernal Shrines, and now TeamLiquid's chance to tie the series and force game number 3. They have the first pick, they have the first ban, and Sky Temple is the map.
Yeah, Sky Temple is in fact the map. It's another large one, so we saw Vikings last game. There is a possibility of it again, and as Khaldor mentioned before the draft started, there is a potential for Abathur on this map as well. We've seen him a little bit in the Gold League, the Chinese scene, but he hasn't actually had that much success over there.
Yeah, the thing is, like, right now, I mean, when we're talking about heroes like that, we, of course, always look at Shad in particular, and, well, as we theorize about this a little bit...
not prepared!
First of all, wow. Dude, thank you very much for that. Big shout out here to Let's Play DB.net. Yeah, we have a Stitches banned out, as we're talking about potentially seeing some heroes that we haven't met in a while. Stitches is all of a sudden being banned out, and after his history over the last 2 days, that's not really too much of a surprise here.
Yeah, we couldn't agree more on that. And Na'Vi responding by banning out that Katowice, giving Liquid first choice, and they bring out the Thrall. LoL wants the melee assassin, LoL gets the melee assassin.
Yeah, he's getting that Thrall, and of course Thrall has been a theme to go for Thrall early during the last few days. Muradin as well, like he's an amazing hero of course too. And they dropped that Jaina, so Katowice is banned out and Na'Vi wants to have Jaina. Of course one of the heroes or one of the players that is extremely good with Katowice and Jaina alike is Mane. And he finally gets his hands on Jaina, the Ice Mage here, and with Muradin you have already that stun into burst damage, so Tyrande would be a good pick for them. Team Liquid can think about picking her away or banning her out during the next ban phase. But there's also another couple of heroes, of course, that would be great for Na'Vi with this setup. Sonya being one of them, and Team Liquid is very unlikely to take Sonya as they already have Thrall, so they have to really make a tough decision here when it comes to the bans then. But first of all, we have a double pick for Team Liquid where they can secure themselves a front line and also an auto attack damage hero.
Yeah, they could also, if they want to, pick up the Tyrande to steal that away from Na'Vi, who are getting very much into that sniper comp potential. They do start off with Diablo, and now Tyrande would definitely fit in very well for that good old stun combo comp themselves.
Like the drafts right now, they always put this dirty grin on my face. I can't help it, but like this is just too good. First game was already great, and now we have a commitment to Diablo at the second pick for Team Liquid. And they can go Tyrande, as you already said, Tetcher. I mean, the stun into stun is amazing. Then you have the Wolf for the lockdown with Thrall too. Later on, it's Sundering that plays a role here. This would be such a hyper-aggressive setup for them, of course. It would be great. Like, I'm loving the drafts that we're seeing, and of course it is Tyrande. What else?
Yeah, the Tyrande ban takes it away from Na'Vi, so they don't have that sniper comp. Gives it to Liquid, so they have the setup for theirs. Now Na'Vi, they need to work out what they want to get rid of. They really need to get rid of any of that follow-up damage. Because right now, Liquid, they have enough CC. It's just a question of whether they can kill the target that they are able to trap.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good point. I mean, you need the damage follow-up too, but with Thrall, you already have some nice damage on the side of Team Liquid. When we're talking about lockdown and also damage for Na'Vi, then of course what they would really need is another stun. And as we already said, they could play that Sonya, so I expect the Sonya ban for Team Liquid. Talking Na'Vi now, as they of course have the ban at this point, the follow-up damage, as you already said, is going to be incredibly important here. So Na'Vi might actually just decide to take some of that away. Another hero that could also be on their mind now is of course again Tacita. Tyrande has been a composition that we've seen a lot, but they try to just limit the vision on the map and map control in general for Na'Vi. And of course also negate that composition with more into Apocalypse. Zagara would have added so much to Team Liquid that Na'Vi just said, no, we ban her out. We don't want her, but she combos off with so many of the talents and heroes that you chose already that she would be the best addition to your setup, and we want to make sure that you are not being able to play with her here.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense on that ban from Na'Vi. Team Liquid, they now have plenty of options. They ban out the Leoric, very interestingly. Leoric, very effective in the last round. But Na'Vi already had their first warrior, but I guess they were trying to limit them because they already have the Diablo and the Muradin is already chosen and Stitches is already gone.
Yeah, it's still a bit surprising to me that they did not try to take Sonya away with a ban, because Na'Vi, it feels, with Muradin, Sonya and Jaina has a very powerful setup to drop individual heroes. The pressure that you can execute at the front line is gigantic, but they go into ETC first. Now, they could still drop that Sonya, of course. I mean, you could go Sonya Charism at this point. Then you have 3 frontliners with Circle of Life on 16. You would have an amazing situation. You can also go into an Uther with this setup, trying to use the Divine Shield for either Sonya or ETC. Or they could go down a completely different path, add another range damage dealer here for themselves, and let Sonya slide for now.
Yeah, plenty of options for now. They don't really need to pick up their support yet, so we're probably going to see what they go. If they're going to pick up that Sonya, then now would be the time. Reyna and Falstad have also managed to sneak through the draft to this period, so Falstad, very good on this map due to the mobility, the XP soak, and being able to fly between the temples. But it's Sylvanas coming in for Na'Vi.
Sylvanas for the silence. All right, so this is actually like an interesting twist that we see there. They go into the Sylvanas instead. If you remember the games that we've seen before, we had usually really this commitment to Muradin and Sonya very early in the draft already, with bans on Thrall most of the time, giving Sonya the priority then, and a Jaina as a potential follow-up damage. Na'Vi is playing a completely different style than what we've seen in the games before. And the fact that they let Falstad go and prioritize Sylvanas because of that silence so that they can really just like snowball it during a team fight is, at least to me, super interesting. And again, the Vikings for Team Liquid. This is just so sexy to see Shed on these Vikings. It nearly worked out in the last game, and they are trying it again, this time very, very late in the draft, making sure that Navi doesn't even see it coming. And the Viking play here should actually be a lot more successful for them thinking about it. I mean, Zagara is already banned out, so there's no vision on the Vikings thanks to creep tumors. The same is also true for Tassadar, which we could still see, by the way, who was a big deal with Oracle. And with Team Liquid having Falstad now, they basically shut down the possibility of Navi just jumping around the map with Falstad trying to take these Vikings out. So it's a super interesting development here for Team Liquid, and a very cool approach to the draft and trying to bring the Vikings into play now.
Yeah, and the fact is they picked it so late, and the fact they already had the Tyrande, that Navi couldn't pick anyone like maybe, like you suggested earlier, the Nova to follow up and just capitalize off the Vikings. So they have to settle with Tassadar instead, just getting that extra vision, allowing them to maybe pick off the Vikings and get ganked that little bit less. And of course the Force Wall to try and zone out Thrall and Diablo as best they can. But because of that, they're sacrificing and giving up the option of that Uther or the Karazim.
Pretty solo play here. I really like this draft. And the Vikings in the end kind of forcing their hands a bit with this Tacit, as we already said, because you want to have that vision. He himself is, of course, an amazing solo support, as we've already seen throughout the last couple of days. And for several teams, he's even like an immediate pick if they get the chance to take him here. But there were other options for Navi that they decided against because vision on the map is now going to be even more important for them than before. Sky Temple is the map. Team Liquid, they lost with the Vikings already once on the first map. They're trying it again, though. Espera, thanks for the resub, my friend. 8 months support right there. And well, we're going to jump into the game and find out if the Vikings can this time bring victory to Team Liquid to bring a third game on the table, or if Navi actually advances to the finals with taking out Team Liquid without dropping even a map. We're going to find that out right now on Sky Temple. St. Ewan will jump into the map. It is Vikings time again. We are on Sky Temple and Team Liquid. They nearly made it happen on Infernal Shrines, map number 1 in this series, but they lost in the end to the strong Navi setup. Once again, the two teams face each other here, and only one map win is currently what Navi needs to advance to the Spring Championship Finals. Alex the Pro G on the left side of the map on ETC, Mene for Navi on Jaina, Crosby on Sylvanas, Eternal on Muradin, and Garan Pakete on Tassadar. On the other hand, Team Liquid, again, with Shad on the Lost Vikings, Juve on Diablo. We're currently also seeing Get Amhead on Tyrande. We have Chris on Falstad and Lowell on Thrall. This is the game where Team Liquid has to win it, or they are out for the tournament and have to re-qualify in another qualifier. We have at the same time, though, also a couple of adjustments, especially on the level 1 talent for the Vikings.
Yeah, last time we saw the Vikings going with that explosive sword talent for Balog so that he could clear waves that little bit better. This time, though, we're seeing much more into the old standard, that Viking bribery, which on this map, it is a little bit bigger and the easy camps can push that bot lane very aggressively. Does make quite a lot of sense. But now, Olaf hiding behind his gate, whereas the rest of Liquid looking for the trap. Eternal slowly creeping out, but he did spot Juve coming out of the bush there.
Yeah, they were trying to go for a potential kill here, but they didn't get the chance. The Vikings, on the other hand, taken apart again. It's really tricky if you're, of course, trying to keep someone like Olaf or Eric alive in these situations. Chris has to fly down now as a result to soak the experience. Not a big deal just yet. He is going to have the cooldown back up ready to go into the temple fight once they are announced. But Eternal is already fighting against Lowell here, and he is going to get some support from Mene, who is riding in on his carpet and is trying to take down Thrall.
Yeah, Law was able to pull back though, so he did not get in too much trouble. He started off with the Lightning build as opposed to Season Marksman, ETC. Getting called out, follow-up stun lands, but there's no extra damage here. And there is the fact that Alex does have a load of reinforcements here. Chris and Lowell arriving for Liquid though. They're going to try and push in. The Wolf does not land though. And Alex was able to pull back until he turned back around, gets follow-up stun, and he still gets out.
Oh, no. It looked for a second like Lowell might follow this up with another chain lightning, but now they are all very low, and both of those Shrines have already been soaked a bit up at the top lane, where we see experience by Shad, but Mene moves in. Olaf didn't see that coming. He might be able to escape. It looks like he will, but now we have the mid lane about to be controlled by Team Liquid as they move in. The experience lead, though, goes to Navi once again, as they are securing the level 4 talent first.
Yeah, and we can see Navi going with a quite intelligent move here. They're not going to fight Liquid as much as they would normally on the temples because of the Vikings. So instead, they were actually giving over mid and they were taking top, but unfortunately they've had to give up top as well, so now they have to contest.
Get here with an adjustment on his build as well, on level 4, heading straight into the focus attack for a bit more auto attack damage. Not that it doesn't any good against those 3 heroes here. The snipe against Tyrande, he was very much surprised by that move in up from the top. And with the level 4 talents, we're now also seeing again Eric the Swift taken. Currently Olaf up at the top lane, Shat soaking experience of course again. TeamLiquid, they have taken a bit of a risk. It's a bit of an unorthodox strategy to go for this many Vikings plays. It nearly worked out on the last map, but again Eric is sniped. Chris is trying to get the kill against Crosby here together with Juve, but a great jump by Eternal. Make sure that he is not going to lock down by Diablo. Great play on Navi's side. I mean, experience-wise, we have again both of them on the same level, but still, Navi is playing very well against these Vikings.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with the snipe. The map rotations from Navi have been stellar throughout this entire tournament, and this game is no exception, just picking up Vikings whenever they can. Diablo currently helping Chris with this camp. They will be able to grab that. Once again, no Merklord on the Vikings, so we're not going to be seeing that camp push as aggressively as the old Viking setup would have, but with Eric the Swift, Eric going to be able to roam between the lanes a little bit better in the late game.
Chris is hoping for a kill against Crosby with the rest of the team. Diablo is there, and Crosby, smart move, moves to the top lane. He definitely knew that there was something fishy about all of this. So yeah, the setup, he moves away, is not taken out here. Level 7 talents now for the 2 teams, and that means unstable poison for Sylvanas again. And the push at the bot lane, quite heavily pressured in, with one of the towers going down immediately. Muradin not heading into the piercing bolt here just yet. He's holding back that level 7 talent, as we have on the side of his opponent. Lunar Blaze still taken, battle momentum, and spin to win as Muradin finally puts that extra talent into play, and as expected goes for the piercing bolt.
Crosby for the moment just soaking up XP and clearing waves as best he can. Shad still playing quite aggressively forward so that he's making sure he gets all XP, but he's not going to get any XP here due to the mercenary camp killing off all his minions before they can kill off any of the enemy ones. Valsad coming up to help with Diablo. We lose a Viking. Valsad and Diablo were trying to get Crosby. They're not able to, so they're just going to help Shad clear up this mercenary camp and minion wave.
Yeah, TeamLiquid is actually playing very well with the Vikings overall, but the thing is that Navi is just reacting perfectly to it. I mean, you can really see you could see in the last game and also in this game how much those Vikings force Navi to adjust their playstyle to what we normally see from them. But the thing is that they are perfectly able to adjust that way. A lot of other teams would have huge trouble against this, but right now Navi is slightly ahead in experience. They are trying to run with that lead, and they secure the temple at the bot lane, which is dropping additional structures for TeamLiquid. So extremely well played by Navi. They haven't won the game by any means yet, but it's really amazing to see how well they can adjust to such a different composition.
Yeah, and for now, Navi going to be finding Juve here, a bit out of position, going to try and focus it down. Juve diving deep here, but he is just focused down. Navi kiting everyone back very effectively now. It is Lowell who is being focused. Shad coming in with Eric from behind, but it's just Eric. Nothing he can really do here. And there is the kill onto Lowell, and Heroics have been hit by Navi.
3.75 kills against 0. We have the Heroics in play with, first of all, the Ring of Frost, Wailing Arrow. We have also Avatar and Tacita here with the Force Wall. Huge pressure at the bot lane. Of course, now at this point, we can expect also to see ETC heading into the Mosh Pit. I mean, theoretically, you could even go into Stage Dive here, but Mosh Pit is still the talent that we would expect, even though there is a fair amount of interrupts on the side of TeamLiquid. So, if he feels that he can't get a Mosh Pit through against Sundering, against the Hammer Time later, against also Diablo and Tyrande, then we might even see the Stage Dive to maybe jump between lanes, get some extra experience, and take some of the Vikings down.
Maybe. Stage Dive does have one of the longest cooldowns of any heroic in the game, so it's quite risky. In comes the Sundering into Abel, catches all of them. Very well played there. Able to grab Sylvanas straight away, trying to get Alex as the follow-up here, who is in full retreat. If he had Stage Dive, he might have been able to jump out of there, but he didn't, and he takes Mosh Pit.
And they get a double kill out of this. And again, the Vikings here with the play again. And he uses them perfectly. He jumps in, takes them down. And now Navi has to rotate against it, trying to soak the experience. Mosh Pit has been taken. It is the more common choice. It is in general the better choice. He goes for the safe talent. And we have to push up at the top lane now with the momentum that they were able to build up for TeamLiquid, dropping a fort and starting to take a slight lead in experience as Shad is saving one of his Vikings in the mid lane now.
Yeah, and it is Eric, so he's just going to be able to regen back up via just walking around, and he will get his health back. Just a bit of shift clicking around, and Eric will be back to normal. However, the camp was stolen by NaVi in this bot lane. Fort is already down, so that will need to be cleared up, as they do not want damage onto their tier 2s this early in the game.
Yeah, and well, talking about like damage a little bit, at this point we have 12,000 on Sylvana. She's actually the top damage dealer in the game, with the exception of Thrall, who is slightly ahead. The Vikings, of course, mainly shining here through the experience soak and siege damage with 36,000. They are actually looking very solid, and are the top siege damage hero on the side of TeamLiquid. Level 13 is still a little bit away for both of the teams, as we see 2 temples announced, one in the middle and the other one at the bottom of the map. And that's of course an opportunity once again for the Vikings to maybe soak those lanes and give that earlier level 13 talent to TeamLiquid for a push or a potential team fight.
Yeah, and right now, Temple being soaked in the mid lane. Bot one has been left down to 10, and we're going to see Eric actually running down there to soak up the shots from that, whereas Liquid have pushed into the middle temple as well. And are actually going to get the shots from this. Khaldor managed to sneak around behind Olaf and grab the fort in the mid lane though.
Oh, they want to go for the kill. The Sundering is in there, but a little bit too late. Apocalypse is nearly missing. And again, Thrall is going for nice silence on the other hand. That was a great one. They're trying to go for Alex and Crosby. This could have been so much better for TeamLiquid if those heroic abilities would have hit a bit harder. But as is, they did miss most of them. Sundering hit 1 or 2 heroes. Apocalypse nearly missed all of them. But they're still able to push NaVi back even though they didn't get a kill. And that means that they get 2 temples now. Shad is still running at the bot lane, probably sacrificing it somehow. He's still running
healing.
around here.
Yeah, he still gets heals because he got all the shots.
Wow, and thanks to Eric the Swift, he's actually healing himself up. He gets all of the shots on the temple. Great play here by Shad. And at the same time, we had the mid-temple secured. So both of them getting soaked. And now level 30 times for both teams. And oh my god, we actually have a boss commitment here by TeamLiquid. Wow, balls to the wall.
This is very risky, but even if they get intercepted here, they do have a lot of their heroics back off. Olaf is still pushing the top lane, so they're actually going to back away for this. But NaVi keeping it from leashing. They're keeping it aggro because they want to try and go for a steal here. Chris has Mighty Gust available, which is what's making me think that this is really a bad decision.
Yeah, me too. And here comes that play again. And Crosby's right next to the Vikings.
Oh my
Crosby
god.
dies. ETC is dead. Oh my god, NaVi, what did you just do? They lose 2 heroes. They don't let it leash. They try to go for it. They lose 2. They lose the boss. And now they are going to lose Gran Paquete. Oh my god, this is a disaster for NaVi. Oh wow, I can't believe that just happened.
Can I request a surprise party Viking skin where play again is just a pinata that pops and lets out streamer noises? Just like, surprise! Vikings in your backline.
To quote Dexter, surprise motherfucker, and hell yeah. That was definitely not what I expected here. Oh my god, like that boss is gonna go ham on the keep, and of course we have level 16 now as well. This worked out perfectly, and play again was such a great talent. Crosby had no idea that a Viking was hidden in that bush. He was already very low, and suddenly there were 3 on him, and he had no chance of survival there. And by now we have, of course, hammer time, true shot aura, domination being used for good old Diablo. And we're seeing temples again on the map, and right now, who's going to fight this? NaVi? I don't think so.
Yeah, they are. They look like they are moving together as a team, but they need to be so careful. They don't have their 16s. They're poking right now. They're more just looking for Vikings than anything else.
Yeah, well, they're looking for a couple of Vikings. They're not going to find any, though. Shad is at the bot lane right now, and he's doing a very good job of keeping his boys alive this time. We have now the top lane shrine nearly activated, and of course, with that 2, nearly 3 level lead, we have a massive advantage now for TeamLiquid, and they intend to run with it. If they get both of these shrines, they will start to drop the first keep, actually. I mean, a lot of the structures are already gone, especially at the bot lane. Down here, Shad might lose one of his Vikings after all, but TeamLiquid is moving out in the mid lane, trying to get that kill, and even Shadowstalk has been activated. But did it? Yeah, used it.
Yeah, Olaf did actually live that thanks to the stealth. He was able to sneak past Tyrande, who didn't actually have a way to reveal him without wasting her escape. Nice dodge by Chris there. Maybe the stun went on to Yuva, who's able to tank it up. And now they're beginning to roll back in. Sundering into APOC again. And the Mighty Gus play again in the backline. And that's huge damage. Straight down goes Crosby.
Terrible, terrible damage here. And the last time this combo didn't really work, but this time it was perfect. Sundering into APOC. They kill the first one. Sylvanas down. Main is about to fall. There goes Muradin. They still followed up with a kill against Tacita. Team Liquid is on a killing spree. They are like sharks tasting blood in the water. They move in. Chris wants Mane and they are gonna get him eventually. Here comes the slingshot chance. They are killing Jaina and they drop that keep at the bot lane as well. The temples are still active, but they are just saying screw the temples. We want their core. There's only ETC and Sylvana still around. They go for it and oh my god, Crosby. He just came back and now he dies again. So young. What a shame.
ETC try to use his mod to protect the core, but it's not enough, and that is GG! And Liquid bring the score to 1-1. We're going to a game number 3 to decide who is going to Katowice.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, everybody. It is the final map. NaVi versus Team Liquid. And, well, immediately NaVi saying, like, alright, let's get rid of that thrall. That sundering into Apocalypse. It actually worked out only once really properly in the last map, but that was enough. Pushing everybody in the Apocalypse was great. The first time was a bit of a miscommunication there. It didn't really work exactly as they intended, but NaVi, either way, they don't want to face that again, so they ban out thrall here. Team Liquid, of course, they can think about a Kel'Thas ban, and at this point it would probably make sense. It's a great map for Kel'Thas. You can dish out a lot of damage, and they do it. They ban Kel'Thas, and let's see what NaVi is going to start things up with now.
And they started off very quickly with that Tassadar getting some good vision on the map. Usually we're seeing a lot of teams going with Zagara as the priority, and then Tassadar as the counter, but instead, NaVi bringing out Tassadar preemptively, and, well, he is a very good support.
Yeah, Tacita is great. He has that vision as well, and he's also amazing against, of course, Zagara, first of all. You can combo it with a Tyrande. You don't really have to. So Team Liquid, they have to think about this right now. Tacita as a start means that if they get the chance, NaVi might actually go into Tacita, Tyrande, which have proven to be an exceptionally great composition throughout the entire tournament already. Zagara is the first pick for Team Liquid still, even though, of course, that Oracle, perhaps even Mental Acuity, can take those creep tumors down, the vision at least that is, but they want to have some vision for themselves on the map, and Zagara is giving them exactly that.
Yeah, and Zagara going to be very good. Tassadar is there to clear up the creep tumors for Zagara, though, so it is not in a situation where you pick Zagara and then have Tassadar picked into you. You are picking her into something that does counter her a little bit, but the Moors all day have been on point. It's showing how great an ability it is. So Liquid, maybe the Diablo straight away to combo with it. We will see.
Yeah, Diablo is definitely a hero that they could use here. Also, one of the things that we have to remember as well is if Liquid doesn't pick Zagara, they would open up a Zagara pick for NaVi. And then Tacita plus Zagara, that is the map control nightmare that you face on this map. Another hero, of course, that could counter Zagara that you can pick with her is Sylvanas. It was an old school tactic. It's not really played that much anymore. I highly doubt that Team Liquid is going for it. There is a slight chance, though, that they're trying to go for a massive push composition. But at this point, you can really see that they are trying to figure out, okay, what do we combo here with Zagara? Do we need that Jaina this early? Do we want to go into a Diablo? And they go into the Stitches, which has been an amazing hero throughout the entire tournament. And they say, first of all, we need that hook. We need that constant threat against NaVi so that they can't actually move in to turn in gems without being afraid of getting isolated and killed.
Yeah, and this now gives NaVi a very likely chance that they're going to go with that Falstad. We've seen Falstad and Thrall as the heroes being mostly used to deal with Stitches as the Mighty Gus to try and disengage, or the Sundering for the same reason. Leoric is the first one picked, though. He does have Wraithwalk to get himself out of those tough situations, too.
It's Alex after all. It's Alex on Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is his hero. This is more or less his map. NaVi with a Tassadar, as we said, there's so many things that they can do right now. There's a Jaina around that Mane would be very happy about. Mane could usually also play that Falstad, of course, if you really want to use him against Stitches, if you want to try and get those seasoned marksman stacks in. If they decide to play with the Jaina, they would put Mane on her as well. But it is that Sylvanas that I put into play a little bit earlier. Of course, not on the side of Zagara this time, so it's not that massive push strategy that we've seen in the past, but it's a counterplay to Zagara and all that wave clear. This is actually a lot of wave clear that that we already have on the side of Na'Vi. Think about it, like the Storm, the Skeleton Swing, having Sylvanas with the Unstable Poison on level 7. It's definitely something where Team Liquid has to be a little bit cautious, but they have Stitches with the Slam, and they have Zagara, of course, with her pushing presence on the map as is.
Yeah, so could be very interesting with that. And Liquid getting rid of Muradin very, very quickly here. Na'Vi already have the Leoric, but Team Liquid wanting to deny that very heavy stun hero away from Na'Vi so that they can't follow up a stun with some Sylvanas damage, and just limiting their options for their second warrior.
A lot of potential bans now for Na'Vi. Jaina is one of them. Tyrande would have been another one, but they want to get rid of that damage that is there. Of course, also since Jaina has even more wave clear. So currently Team Liquid still with the opportunity to go into Tyrande and try to combo that stun off. If you are just in need of a stun that you want to combo, you can also go into Uther. The advantage of Tyrande is that you have also that trait that of course allows you to dish out extra damage onto the target. There's a few other heroes though that they can play with as well. I mean, we could see that Diablo again. We talked about the potential more into Apocalypse combination that we saw in previous games. So if they wanted to go full overboard on it, they could go into a Diablo plus a Tyrande even, and then try to use a different healer in the later stage, or a different damage dealer. They decide to go for that Charism combo though. And Tyrande is one of the heroes that combos well with Stitches, because she of course can apply that stun. Charism, as we've seen in games before, has that 7-sided strike, and once you isolate a target with that hook, Charism is unleashing all of his damage against a single target, which is just making it super easy to drop the final hit points and get the kill.
Yeah, much easier to burst down someone with just over half their hit points than it is to burst someone down from full. And we see the Sonya coming in as well, so that extra bit of burst damage and a follow-up stun to that hook as well.
Yeah, and that means that we have, of course, now also 3 melee heroes, which makes it a bit easier for Charism on level 16 with the Circle of Life to get his heal out, since he relies heavily on how many heroes are around him. Na'Vi, they know that, of course, as well. It's all about the damage dealer for Team Liquid now on the last pick. And Na'Vi could limit those options a bit, but it's going to be tricky. There's too much range damage still available. Na'Vi is going to have a tough time to really limit that. There is a Reyna available. There's a Falstad. There's also, of course, Vala. Na'Vi won't be able to deal with this. First of all, they have to think about single support Tacita, double support with the Tyrande. Do they add another frontliner? They could go into that once again. So they have already a solid setup here, but I would really still like to see a bit more damage, to be honest with you.
Yep, I would agree. Sylvanas not going to be enough damage on her own, so seeing another damage dealer coming in would make a lot of sense here. Question is, what is it going to be? The Johanna coming in firstly as their second warrior, and if I didn't think they were getting my hopes up, I'd say an Asmodan. But unfortunately, he hasn't been picked in months.
Yeah, but this is a heavy wave clear composition that they're currently using here. The problem that you have with Asmodan is that he has such a huge hitbox that you can, like, he's a hook magnet.
Oh,
so, yes. I would agree that it would be great to see an Asmodan again. I doubt that he's going to be picked in quite some time. Reyna makes sense, but this is a lot of AoE that they have. Knight takes pawn, condemn, Sylvanas unstable poison, Leori skeleton swing, Tacita. That's wave clear galore that they're currently running here. And Team Liquid, they know that too. They might even be forced to go into a Vala over a Falstad because of that wave clear with Arsenal. Depends a bit on how they want to play it, but I think those are the two heroes that they really have to think about now.
They throw Reyna into the roaming comp, and he's getting stacks galore. And there, in fact, Liquid do get that Falstad, so they have the Mighty Gust on their side. They have the potential for disengages in case that AMA decides to engage, or comboing in with Mighty Gust into Putrid Bile.
Yeah, so they're saying, yes, we would like to have, of course, a little bit more wave clear against them, but it's more important for us to have that single target damage so that we can, first of all, stack Seasoned Marksman and also drop a target that stitches hooks. The Mighty Gust that you already explained about is, of course, also going to be important here. But yeah, Falstad it is over Vala. Vala would have helped them a bit with the wave clear since Na'Vi is running a heavy siege combo, but still, solid lineup for Team Liquid. And boys, once again, last map, Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is it. The team that wins here advances to Katowice. The team that loses will have to try in the second qualifier. So let's jump in to Tomb of the Spider Queen. The series is tied and find out which team is going to take the best of 3. Game number 3 on Tomb of the Spider Queen in NaVi versus TeamLiquid. The series is tied. To the left side, we have NaVi with Alex the Pro G on Leoric. We have Crosby on Reyna, Mena on Mena on Sylvanas, Gran Paquete on Tassadar, Eternal on Johanna, and to the right side of the map, their opponent, TeamLiquid. Winning on Sky Temple, they forced the third map. Shat is playing Zagara today. We have Lowell on Sonya, Chris on Falstad, Juve on Stitches, and Gerd Amherd on Karazim. And well, in this particular setup, of course, a massive amount of wave clear on the side of NaVi, and they have that Sylvanas to disable structure, so if they build up some momentum, they can really push incredibly hard, whereas we see TeamLiquid focusing a little bit more on a composition that is trying to snipe heroes, and Juve already with an early attempt to get a hook in.
We're going to see Liquid pushing in very aggressively. Yuva spots Gran Paquete here, but this is going to be a tower thanks to the huge damage of Zagara and the fact that they don't lose too much health because Gerd, using that Transcendence to get most of his health back, has to back up eventually just due to taking a lot of damage. But in the meantime, they did lose a little bit of XP. Actually, no, Yuva was able to so-call that. So yeah, Liquid coming out very ahead there.
Yeah, 2 towers actually have been eliminated here. And they start to move away. Gerd already on the way back. Chris is up at the top lane. Not really losing any experience here. And Falstad, of course, with the Season Marksman. Reyna went into the same talent. Bit of a brawl down here at the bottom of the map. And we have in this game now... Oh, there's the hook. But Eternal, of course, is not going to be threatened here at all. We have now Hungry for More on Stitches as a level 1 talent over those... Yeah, talents before, where we even saw Chew Your Food taken on the first map that these two teams played, where TeamLiquid also had access to Stitches.
I like what Yu was doing here. He's roaming between the lanes, making sure he secures globes, but also hooking even without follow-up, as long as he doesn't think he's in danger, just to slow down the rotation of NaVi here. Just trying to delay it a bit, does not land that hook. He's trying to make NaVi just miss a minion or 2 of XP, while the rest of his team gets XP, and in this case, gets kills, killing Alex in the top lane. Not an easy feat in itself, as we are very aware.
Yeah, Alex dying here, and I want to highlight once again that we have Barbshot actually as the level 1 talent on Sylvanas. I love the talent on the map here, and it showcases how much they really invest into the pushing power on these heroes. I wouldn't be surprised to see Eternal Retaliation on Johanna. Given that they are running with a Tassadar solo, she might run the Laws of Hope here, but there's still the chance that with those Web Weavers coming in and those additional bodies, she wants the massive cooldown reduction to get the most out of the siege damage. Juve, on the other hand, is body blocked, healed by Gerd, but it's not enough Stitches. He definitely needs a bit of a diet because, well, he just didn't fix it with her.
Yeah, very, very true. He's going to be on the respawn diet as he won't be able to eat anything for the next 5 seconds. In the meantime, though, the rest of his team is still soaking XP, currently 1 kill to 1, so neither team extending with a huge advantage. It is still a slight XP lead for Liquid thanks to those towers they were able to kill off in bot lane.
Alex, preferred talent on level 4, fealty onto death, once again chosen. He really likes this adjustment on 2 on the Spider Queen in particular. It's also noteworthy that we have indeed Laws of Hope taken for Johanna, so it's not the cooldown reduction on Condemn, but with only Tassadar as the support, Johanna wants to be safer at the front line and says like, okay, Laws of Hope it is for now. Eternal also with the turn in here completed, very well done by NaVi. Both of the teams now on level 5, aiming of course for that completed turn in and the first Web Weaver wave in the game.
Yeah, TeamLiquid sneaking in a bit of a turn-in thanks to Sonya there, getting in a good 13 gems. They're still behind by 7, but they're picking up a lot themselves as well, ready for when they need to make their next attempt.
Bot lane pressure, Alex has switched lanes, and at the top the rotation is still ongoing. Chris is securing a few Season Marksman stacks for himself, of course. A slight lead in experience still for TeamLiquid. The team lost the first map, they lost on Infernal Shrines, but they were able to bring it back on Sky Temple with the Lost Vikings. And now, of course, this is the final map between the two teams. Who's going to advance to Katowice? Who's going to be able to make it happen here? Gerd Amherd and Lowell. Rather low here, need to consider that well, and the turn-ins are of course going with 41 gems already turned in for TeamLiquid, so if they are able to secure those last 9, they will have the first Web Weaver wave of the game.
Yeah, and that Web Weaver wave will put a lot of pressure on it to NaVi here, who are trying to get their gems in. I actually left unattended. He could make an attempt on this, instead wants to maybe come up and help his team. Nope, just going to move down and continue to soak against Falstad. In the meantime, Zagara does not want to get caught out, backs up, but looks like a creep tumor at the same time. Nice shot by Crosby.
Yeah, Crosby, Eternal, everybody still in position up here to the top. The earlier level 7 talent, no turn-in just yet with those last remaining 9 gems. We have the Ferocious Healing taken, Mena jumps back, and Chris is turning in another 5. So they're at 46 right now. We have a few level 7 talents still missing, but Navi is getting the extra talent to hook against Grandpa Kette. He shifts out of there, and the follow-up with Lowell and his Sonya, but not enough damage. Shat, on the other hand, he is able to finally get the turn-in completed, and it's the first Web Weaver wave for them.
It is the first Web Weaver for them, so Liquid will begin to push in with this. Having a look at the level 7 talents, we do see that Tenderizer coming in for Stitches, so they can try and get burst. Not even going to bother with it though on Eternal, who's just able to tank his way through it. And Reyna going for Fight or Flight. So if Essie gives Reyna his a resistance and he can manually activate it to heal him, not go with the movement speed, which is what we usually see on this map.
Yeah, and we have the Web Weavers now in play, and the commitment at the top lane right away with Zagara also heading into rapid incubation. Nice hook against Crosby. He didn't see that one coming, I can tell you that much. Didn't expect it from down here at the bottom, but Stitches moving into position. They also start to go for Infernal, but they can't completely block Johanna. She moves in again with the Condemn, but has the Iron Skin still up at the bot lane. Chris and Alex are fighting it out. There's battles happening through all 3 lanes right now, with the Web Weavers still pushing in and towers dropping all over the place.
Zagara has now been left unattended though in the top lane, and she is taking advantage of it, pushing in. Going to get a little bit of damage done, but she lost vision, so she's going to pull back and try not to get caught. Maida was the one in front, does not have any CC to slow down Shad, who does get away. Norway was down, not a huge amount of damage, and they got quite a few towers though, and did some damage to the forts.
I love, by the way, how Stitches every single time he throws a hook just like leans forward like a ballerina. I really, really like that. Looks so gracious in these situations, and usually he's just like fat and ugly, but in those those small seconds, he's looking very pretty.
Yeah, it is like the end stance of a javelin throw, where you swap feet to make sure you don't fall over and end up looking graceful as, well, like you said, a ballerina.
Yeah, we need a ballerina skin for Stitches. That would actually be amazing.
But he's got bikini skin. They're obviously leaning in that direction.
Juve already moving away now, and as he's very, very low. We have a level 10 now coming for Team Liquid into reach, and that is of course an incredibly important talent, especially if you're trying to go for a double turn-in. The first turn-in was already secured. If they get the second one after this, they can try to snowball towards level 13, but now they have level 10 first of all. They have still 25 gems that they can turn in, and that brings them very close to a second turn-in.
Here's the Bile trying to block off Maida here. A 7-sided strike, and he is deleted. We're seeing them hang around this area right now to block, 1, the gems being picked up, and 2, to begin going for that fort. They have Hydras and Roaches to tank the fort shots so they can get as much damage as possible, but the Roaches about to expire. So Liquid gonna back up. We're going to turn in just a couple more gems and get back to the lanes to soak.
Great play here by Team Liquid, getting that kill, but they did not turn in on the back of it, so that's one of the disadvantages of this push in the mid lane. They were able, of course, to drop a bit of damage onto that fort, but they still didn't complete the turn in. They have the gems that they need, but they need to turn those in, and of course we also see the same happening for Navi, so whichever team is getting access to the turn-in spots first will have the next objective wave coming into play for them. Here comes the hook against Crosby though, and Gerd is jumping in again. Chris had to use the Mighty Gust here. Juve still moving away. Here comes the turn in attempt by Eternal. He alone has 33 gems already.
Lol pushing in, looking for an opportunity to try and get Crosby. 7-sided used. He finds Lol finds Alex. Using that whirlwind, gets silenced by the Wailing Arrow though. Marches the Black King, hitting Lol a lot of times there. And the more trapping Reyna in the backline. We already see Tassadar go down, and Lol able to escape thanks to the healing from Gerd.
They all escaped. They took down Tassadar, but they all escaped, and that's a 5 versus 4 for them. It was actually incredibly close because the Hyperion was dishing out so much damage against the escaping tanks. But now we have a 5 versus 4 for a little bit longer. Eternal will have no chance to turn in at this point, but we have up at the top lane the turn-in attempt from Lowell and the rest of his team. Juve is low and has to be back, but the Web Weavers are secured. Great play here by Team Liquid. They are ahead in experience already, and of course the situation is getting a bit tricky for Navi. They have 86 gems. If they lose another hero, they might lose all of those.
Yeah, Na'Vi just trying to play as defensively as possible for the moment so they don't lose their gems and more importantly don't lose their forts, but they've consolidated most of their defense into the mid lane, which leaves Zagara and a Web Weaver alone in the top lane, meaning they're more than likely going to at minimum lose that fort.
It's never a good idea to leave Zagara alone. Her pushing power is absolutely incredible, but they might not have a choice here. Again, we see them moving in. Juve in the back with the Putrid Pile. They want to go for Alex. He has 43 gems and they kill him. Grand Paquette is trying to secure them, but now he's falling as well. Oh my god, TeamLiquid with such a beautiful move. A great move by them, and that is a lot of gems lost. A few were picked up though, but it's not only a double kill, it's also the early level 13. It's the kill against the fort at the bot lane. It's a potential kill against the one in the mid lane as well. Nice Iron Skin on Johanna to keep her alive here, but this is absolutely amazing for TeamLiquid.
Yeah, not only the kill, not only all of those gems lost, but they got all 3 forts in one fell swoop, and that puts them in a huge lead. They're going to hit their level 14 just as Na'Vi hit their level 12s, and Liquid looking dominant in this game number 3.
And Mega Smash taken as the level 13 talent here. Super cool to see that. So we have the increase in range, and that is going to allow Stitches to just increase the siege damage even more. They have 52 gems that they can turn in already, and that brings them very close to a third Web Weaver wave before Na'Vi even has their first in the game. So they are really controlling the flow of the match at this point.
They're just in complete control. They found Leoric hiding down here, trying to get rid of his gems. He only has 9 at this point, but any gem at this point is useful because they've had 20 gems for about the last 12 minutes.
Yeah, Lowell really wants to get the... Oh my god, they also get the hook against Alex, but he escapes, but they take the Bruiser camp away. This is absolutely incredible play by TeamLiquid. They dominate the map right now. They got the double turn in. Their entire composition is, of course, they're just designed to go into team fights, to go for hero snipes, and that's what they've been doing, whereas Na'Vi is focusing more on the siege damage, on the wave clear, but it hasn't been working out for them the way that they intended to. Now we have another potential completed turn in for TeamLiquid, and they are just rushing through the map, taking camps away from the opponent, pushing them back, taking the map control, denying vision, and with level 13 talents finally ready for Na'Vi, we have another Web Weaver wave that could very well bring level 16 to TeamLiquid, and therefore an additional talent once again.
And that looks like what they're going for. Juve once again positioning aggressively to 1, try and go for a hook, and 2, do what he's been doing all game, which is these aggressive Putrid Bile pursuits. Nice forceful by Tazanor this time, but the Mighty Gust disengages, so lol, not in trouble. Stitches charging forward though once again with that Putrid Bile charge, and the Maw hits quite a few heroes. Liquid not willing to charge through yet. They're so close to their 16. Why will they take the risk? Juve mounting and instantly getting demounted by the Hyperion. But Liquid very close to level 16, still have all 3 Web Weavers alive. They are looking strong.
Yeah, they're looking very strong, and they're even split on the map now. Gerd jumps over the wall with a quick dash to his ally, and now they're going for the bot lane. They try to aim for a hook. They don't get that in, but they still push the bot lane where they drop both of the towers, and now they go for not only well, but even keep.
Yeah, they're going for that keep. The Web Weaver still has half health. We're seeing Lol push into Eternal. He's not going to be able to get the kill, but he now has Wrath available to push into the keep. Keep will go down easily. Stitches gets the hook with Fishing Hook, and Crosby goes down, drops a huge amount of gems. And look at Liquid just guarding this gem deposit so that there is going to be no pickup from Na'Vi. Na'Vi down to 70 gems, as if I could say only for that. But they're still in. Liquid still in a huge amount of control. Na'Vi with all these gems, there's no way they can turn them in.
Chris, mistakes were made. He flew to the top and he got killed. Silence, couldn't barrel roll away. Was already a bit late on that as is, but now it's still a keep that has fallen at the bot lane, and it's level 14 versus level 17. The 16 talents are ready for TeamLiquid, and we have them with the no escape taken on the side of Sonya. And as you already pointed out during the fight earlier, that fishing hook really making the life of Na'Vi even harder now. But they have a 4 versus 5, and they are intent on using it. We have Eternal trying to turn in. Gerd jumps in, might be a bit too far out, jumps to the wave and gets away, but Juve is a little bit low. And a hook again, but not successful.
Alex pulling back here, trying not to get caught out. He's draining off of Sonya, but got hit by the 7-sided strike there and is gonna get picked off. Drops even more gems, another 17 dropped. Still over 70 on the side of Na'Vi, but they just can't get them in. They're still only on 20 gems turned in.
They can't move anywhere right now. They have absolutely no chance. We see Gadam here moving to the mid lane again. Lowell is there. They have a few gems, not enough to get another turn. And of course, they already had 3 in a row, but they still have a significant lead in experience. And they are trying to capitalize on it. They could take the camps on the map, especially, of course, that Siege Giant camp down here at the bottom. And it looks like Chris is flying over for this one. But 16, that's the talent that Na'Vi really needs. Maybe they can start a comeback once that they fight on the same talent level, but for now they just are too afraid to engage into a battle.
Yeah, they're checking the boss because if Liquid had gone for that, then maybe they could have made it into a throw pit, and that was really Na'Vi's best opportunity. But Liquid, they're not having it. They're not going to take that unnecessary risk. They're just going to soak. They're just going to pick up gems and make sure Na'Vi isn't going anywhere.
Na'Vi with a 16 approach, of course. Like, they are so close to the next talent. They're gonna get that any second, but Juve is a constant threat with these hooks. And Gadam here, he can always dash back to Stitches and then use the 7-sided strike. But we have level 16 now, and the Dimensional Warp alone is already gonna be very helpful. We have, after the Crushing Hope, now the Unyielding Despair taken for Leoric, and this is the chance that they have. They're still 2 levels behind, but they have an opportunity to fight on even talent levels, win a team fight, and snowball it from there.
Yeah, and the final other times we see the Cold Embrace once again for Sylvanas. That vulnerable may be enough to help them take down Stitches. We'll have to see. Imposing presence on that Johanna. And they're going to try and push through. Bullseye on the Raider. Gerard going quite aggressive here. Dashes to Lol. Able to get himself out of there. Yuva waiting for his hook to come off cooldown. He wants to try and grab someone. He has 7 seconds left for it, though.
Grand Paquette warping it out of there. Stitches is dodging the Maw. Well, actually, like, it's his own Maw, the own teammate that was trying to save him here. But once again, the 7-sided strike. The kill against Reyna. The kill against Sylvanas. Leoric nearly fallen as well. In comes the March of the Black King. Lowell drops him. Falstad flies in. Tries to go for Janna now too. Grand Paquette on the run. Team Liquid with the opportunity to end the game. They get a quad kill. There was an even talent fight. They get that quad kill. They move in. It's only one hero. It's still defending. Eternal, the only one, and Team Liquid is about to finish it.
They're focusing the core. Eternal doing everything he can. Alex will be back before the core dies, but there's nothing he can do. And that is GG. And Liquid will go to Katowice with Google Wants an Umbrella and in a 2-1 victory.
Very well played, Na'Vi out. Team Liquid with a win on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG, well played. And that is it, everybody. GG and well played. The game's over, and therefore also the video for today here on Khaldor TV. We had another great Heroes of the Storm match, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Also hope that you enjoyed the commentary, of course. So thank you very much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to Khaldor TV yet, you should definitely hit that sub button as well. If you have some friends that like Heroes of the Storm, then definitely make sure that you show them the channel and also the video. There's a lot more where that came from. We're going to have like continuous content throughout the next few weeks with more Heroes of the Storm matches played, not only on the European server, but also on the North American server, in tournaments, in leagues, and more than that. So guys, once again, thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope that you had some fun. It was a pleasure casting for you. And I'm going to see you next time with even more videos here on the channel. So have a great day and see you soon. Bye-bye.